Hello, Python coders. My name is Shawn, and I will be your instructor today. Today's lesson is quite straightforward. We will be installing Python. So, in the first lesson of the Python for Beginners series, which you can also locate on my channel, I did explain how to install Python at the very beginning, but I did also realize that a lot of people were not lucky enough to locate that video or the series. But after this, I would definitely recommend you go ahead and check out my Python for Beginners series. Anyway, hopping into it, go ahead and grab a computer. And Python actually supports dozens and dozens of operating systems, but for the best results, preferably get a Windows, Mac, or Linux. Once you've done that, go ahead and open any modern browser, whether it be Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, Firefox, Brave, Opera, any of those. And I'm just going to go ahead and open the old trusty Microsoft Edge. And in the address bar, this is important, make sure you do not mess this up, type python.org. And make sure you do type it exactly like that, with nothing different. And if you do want to type like a capital at the beginning or anywhere really, it won't make a difference. But make sure that you have typed all the letters correctly, and then just click enter. And then in a few seconds, you will be led to the official Python website. And here you're going to see a lot of things, and it is easy to get distracted with all the wonderful things on this website, but the part you want to focus on is the downloads part. So hover your mouse over the downloads little sub-tab, and then you can go ahead and click all releases just so you can see everything. And it automatically detects that I am currently on Windows, so it go ahead and shows me the download link for the Windows version. But as you can see here, it also shows how to install Python for a different OS, such as Windows, Linux, Mac, and if you click on other, you can see that it does support lots of other operating systems. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and install the Windows version, and you install what your version is. So if you want to click on Windows, then click on Windows, Mac, then click on Mac, and if you're on Linux, then click on Linux. And we wait for it to fully install. And once it has, you can go ahead and open the file. And now we're doing the actual installation part. So once you have clicked on the file, and if you do not see it here and you're just confused as to where to locate it, you can click on your File Explorer or Finder or whatever it's called, and click on your Downloads tab, and it should be right there. And again, as always, if you do have any questions, complaints, or suggestions, you can comment down below. So this is what you're going to get if you're on Windows. You're going to get a similar interface if you're on Mac or Linux, but this is the Windows interface. So with Windows, what you'd generally be tempted to do is just immediately click Install Now. But if you are on Windows, and this does not apply to Mac or Linux, but if you are on Windows, then it will be incredibly beneficial, and it's practically a requirement that you add Python 3.8 to Path if you want to use an IDE like Pycharm. And you can customize the installation, but we're not going to do any of that. So go ahead and leave the customized installation untouched. And once you have clicked add Python 3.8 to Path, if you're on Windows, then go ahead and click Install Now. And if you're on Mac or Linux, it'll be pretty similar. And you can just follow the next, and then submit, install, all of that. It'll be pretty straightforward. So we wait for the installation, and there are quite a few things that Python is installing, and inclusive of that is of course the core interpreter you see here, as well as pip, the documentation of Python, idle, etc, etc, etc. There are a lot of files that Python has to download, so do not be surprised if it does take a while, and it will take a while even if you do have a pretty fast computer. So we just wait a little longer. Oh yes, of course there are also the development libraries. That's one of the most important parts of the Python installation. The standard library. And Python is very, very useful to have on your computer, even if you're not actually wanting to code. Because a lot of things you will notice are things that you can open, such as .py files or .ipynb files. And in fact, if it is an ipynb file, you should probably learn how to open those. And a lot of the times it won't work so simply. But if you go to my video, which is linked in the description below, and should be popping up in the top right corner of your screen right about now, that video will show you how to install IPython, which stands for interactive Python, and that will help you open those files and also help you a lot. That's another thing that I would say is an extremely useful thing you should install alongside Python. And that video is, if you're wondering, titled How to Install NumPy, Pandas, and IPython. So normally I would actually speed up the installation part, but I do not want to confuse anyone. So if you do want to go ahead and skip ahead a few seconds, then feel free to do that. But I am going to go ahead and sit out the entire installation just so that nobody gets confused about what to do. With the installation of Python, there are millions of things that could go wrong, literally. So if you do have any problems, again, the comment section is always open for you, and I will respond to you and give you a good solution for your problem. Now, do remember that if you just have an extremely old version of an operating system or a very unusual operating system that's very little supported, then it might not work. But for the most part, Python supports a lot of operating systems, a lot of which you actually might not have even heard of. If we look here, there are things like AIX, IBM I, which is a very old operating system actually. It predates to quite a while. I don't remember exactly how many, but I mean, if you just look at all of these, some of them are probably something you've never even heard of. But back to the installation. It is almost done now. It's just installing the pip bootstrap, at least for me. Another thing I would also like to add is that if you do want to learn if Python is a good programming language for you to learn, I also have a video on that called Is Python Right for You? And that should also be popping up in the top right corner of your screen right now and is also linked in the description below. And that's something I would definitely recommend you check out because while Python is an amazing programming language, it isn't right for everybody, and that will help you make your decision. Okay, so now we're getting very, very close to the finishing of the installation of Python. And in in just a few seconds it should be done. Right now it's just adding Python to the path, as you can see. And there we go. It is complete. And it does go ahead and give you a little bit of special thanks, and it does say setup it was successful, and that's how you know that it is successful. It gives you the online tutorial, which is, well, I read it, and it's not very useful for beginners, but you can see that in the documentation. I'm going to take a look at that, but it also tells you what's new in the newest release, which is this one, obviously, for me. And go ahead and close this. So now, if you go to your sidebar, you will see in your, if you go ahead and scroll down to P, then, and you click on Python 3.8, you'll see that not only was idle and Python installed, but also the Python 3.8 manuals and module docs. And there you have it. Python is officially installed onto your computer. And actually, if you click on P once more and you go to Open File Location, you will see that it has its own folder in your programs, along with all of your necessary components. And I did just double click on it so you can see that the Python 3.8.5 shell. And remember that as long as something is Python 3 or so, it doesn't matter if you're on Python 3.8.5, 3.8.6, 3.9, as long as it is 3, you should be good. And just to confirm that this does work, you can type print and then hello world. And idle is not a very good editor. You should use something like Pycharm, which I also show how to install on my Python lesson 1. And if we click Shift Enter, which is how to run on idle, then you can see that everything has worked properly. It has printed properly. So it is working, and if it does not work properly, then you may want to check to make sure that you have written everything properly. But yeah, that is the complete installation of Python. Next, make sure you do check out how to install Pycharm, which should be on your screen right now and is linked in the description below. It's a very useful replacement to idle, which will make your life easier. Be sure to go check it out right now. And as always, thank you very much for watching this lesson, and congratulations on installing Python on your PC. And yes, I do hope to see you in my Python for Beginner series or any other video. And see you later.